I'd really like to have sex with a tall woman. I mean, really tall, like a giant. Like 6'5".
Really?
What was the tallest woman you ever slept with?
I don't know, 6'3".
Oh, God. See, this is all I think about, sleeping with a giant. It's my life's ambition.
So I guess it's fair to say you've set different goals for yourself than, say, Thomas Edison, Magellan, these types of people.
Magellan? You like Magellan?
Oh, yeah, my favorite explorer. Around the world, come on. Who do you like?
I like DeSoto.
DeSoto? What did he do?
He discovered the Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, like they wouldn't have found that anyway.
Thanks for staying up later. By my calculations, this is the 4th visit Jerry Seinfeld has paid to the program, and the first time out of 4 that I am dressed inappropriately. I'm overdressed for the occasion.
Yeah, you look like you're doing your Eli Wallach interview in this outfit, you know what I mean? You usually have your little faux comedy outfit, your little, you know, yeah, little loose thing, you know, but, yeah, I don't know, prove me wrong. I always thought there was a connection to the outfit and the guest. I always watch what you're wearing. I think somebody said, well, who do we have? You know, Chris Christopher. All right, let's get some denim, something, you know.
Kissinger waiting in the green room. We got the suit.
We got the
something
suit.
Sedate.
Like, the guest is not going to know that you don't know anything about politics because you got a suit on. They'll think, oh, well, he's probably knows as much as I do. This will be a good conversation I'll have with this young man.
It's proven successful to this point.
Yeah.
You've blown my cover now.
Yeah.
So at this point, on to the next thing. When you were a kid, who were the stand-up guys that you liked to watch? Who influenced you?
I liked some of the older guys. Well, Cosby was huge to me. Still is really my role model in comedy. Is a guy who's survived dimensionally. He hasn't been trapped into anything, and he's still very interesting and vital. I mean, I saw his live show about a year ago. Mm-hmm. Wonderful, interesting, new stuff. He's great. He's kept growing. But I liked Alan King and Jackie Leonard and, you know, Burl and all those guys. Really, you know, I was a big fan. But it was when I saw Robert Klein that I thought, wait a minute, maybe I could do this.
See, he would be the guy that I would think would be the most direct link to you. That observational.
He is really the linchpin of the whole generation that you really see now, I think.
Did you see the movie Mr. Saturday Night?
Yes.
Now, even though I'm not a comic, I guess I'm enough of a fan of this stuff. I found the personas of all those people to be inherently funny. They didn't even have to say anything funny. Just who they were was hysterically funny. You know, just these guys sitting around the Friars Club or sitting around the Carnegie Deli or working the Borscht Belt. They're just funny from the get-go. Just walking in the door, who they are is funny. It's a funny thing. It really is, that people, you meet people, like there was a guy that we went out to dinner with the other night, a bunch of people from the show, Joel Hodgson, the guy who does Mystery Science Theater 3000. And he's a very quiet guy, but he's a really funny guy. And today we were talking about him, and somebody was saying, you could see the little spark. It's almost like you looking through a grill and you see a flickering light. It's the way it is with comedians. There's always something there that's it's a little bit of magic or something. It's like they're off. They're just not with the program of normal human life. And but it's not in a negative way. It's just this, they've been touched with this little wand. I don't know what it is. Do older comics relate well to you? Like, I think Billy, and the movie is further evidence of this, Billy is a guy who's almost like a transitional guy. Yes. You know, someone who's 18 years old will stay up late to see Billy with Letterman, make it a point. But your mother likes Billy Crystal, too. Right. You know, and the Borscht Belt guy, Pat Cooper, knows from Billy Crystal, and so, too, does some guy that's just starting out at Catch a Rising Star. I'll tell you the big difference with those guys is they really came up without a support group, and they were animals. They had to really make it on their own. They came from tough neighborhoods, tough families. Most of the guys you see today were friends. We all know each other. We call, we talk. There's a different kind, it's not the same competitive level. And that's what I've noticed talking to some of the older comedians, is that they didn't know each other. I mean, they passed, but the competition was very edgy. you know, they would steal from each other, and it wasn't the same kind of respect that comedians have today for each other's work.
And I would think if you didn't do a lot of television, either because it was pre-TV or you weren't on that circuit, if you had an hour's worth of material, you could write it for 10 years.
Yeah. Nobody had an hour. Those guys had 28 minutes.
You've got to be cranking stuff out constantly.
Yeah, yeah. Now you survive on TV. You
ever hit a wall?
No.
You ever hit a comedic version of writer's block?
No, I don't believe in it. I think that's a lot of hooey. I think that's just cowardice. I mean, 90% of things you write aren't going to be good. You just have to accept that, and you keep going.
Now, if you write 100 jokes, do you know, is your sense of which 10 are good, is it pretty unerring, or do you need to try it out in front of an audience to be sure?
Well, it depends on how ambitious the joke is. If it's a simple joke, sometimes you can kind of gauge it, but it's always hit and miss. It's definitely what they call a black art. Nobody really knows if something's going to be funny. Every night after we shoot the show, we usually go to a deli and sit around and talk, and we're always amazed by what should have worked that didn't and what shouldn't have worked that did. Without fail, it's hard to gauge. No one really knows what it is. Comedians don't know what it is.
Do you do things in your stand-up act that you don't think are particularly funny, but since the audience laughed and they keep laughing each time you do it anyway, or do you always please yourself?
I do things that I don't get. But it doesn't matter because you don't really have to know why everything is working or isn't working. It's like certain jokes, you know, if you turn your head this way or if I do this thing, it always gets a laugh. I don't know, I turn my head like a dog. You know, I do this thing about how when a guy hears a power tool, when a guy hears a drill, it's like a dog whistle. And they turn their head like this. And I know when I do that, this is really getting down to the nuts and bolts here. I know when I do this, it's funny, but if I do this, it doesn't get a laugh. Except here, of course, on later. See, now that's the thing. Now, I don't know why one is funny and the other isn't, but I know when I do that bit, I better turn my head like that.
So a tilt from left to right is the key here.
For me.
Yeah.
Then that's what being a comedian is. That's what you spend years working on. When you do the dog that hears the dog whistle, it's funny this way, and it's not funny that way.
A couple of years
That's what drives you nuts for years, trying to figure that out. And I have the mindset that I love doing that. I'll go, great. I'll try every different head turn until I find it, you know, and I don't get bored, you know.
A couple of years ago, I asked you whether there were real differences in audiences if you do the same joke Tuesday night in Kansas City and then Wednesday night in Cheyenne.
So you thought you would ask me again?
No, it's getting to a different point. And you said no, it's always you. If the audience doesn't laugh as hard in one place, it isn't them. There's something you did different even if you can't pinpoint it.
Right.
I asked Richard Belzer the same question, and he said, no, audiences are different. Even in the same place on consecutive nights, there's a different tone and texture to an audience.
Well, every audience has a potential, you know. Your job is to take them from where they are to their potential. You're like a teacher. You want the student to live up to his potential, you know. But you can't, you don't get the same response, but you get something. If I go out for a convention of Freightliner trucks, and it's 50, you know, equipment managers, and I get a chuckle, I'm killing them, you know? So you have what we call the sliding scale of comedy response, you know, that you move the C-clamp up and down on the chart. But there is always something, and you know, and you'll come off, and the guy that booked you, they say, "Oh, you did great. We had a guy here last year, didn't get the chuckle," you know. He had 30 minutes of silence. You had 29 minutes of silence and a chuckle. So you did well.
Every day, you've got the choice to feel your most beautiful with Salon Selective. From Helene Curtis, Salon Selective gives you the choices you need for salon beautiful hair, salon beautiful feeling. Choose your shampoo level, your conditioning type for a personalized combination and feel like you just stepped out of a salon.
Choose to be your most beautiful.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place. It isn't the night or even the fog that gets you. It's when the team leader puts you in charge for the first time, and you decide to drop right inside Alpha Team's backyard. That's when you find out how good you really are.
This is Pioneer Home Theater, with Laserdisc images 60% sharper than most VCRs, the world's leading AV receivers, speakers customized for home theater, and a big screen picture that's real as life. From the leaders in audio and video, home theater so advanced, you don't just watch it.
Since I know that comics stay up late and watch this show, let's continue this seminar. Does the same stuff work in a closed, small setting as works like, let's say, in a concert setting? You're popular enough now to play big halls. I saw you at the Fox Theater in St. Louis on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That must seat 5,000, 6,000.
Yeah.
And I've seen you at comedy clubs where there's 50 people there.
Again, it depends on the audience, depends on the room. That particular place is so well designed that the audience's attention just falls naturally to the stage. The sound is very good, so it's like playing a small place. There are 200-seat clubs that are not as intimate as that 5,000-seat theater. The best place are these old vaudeville houses that are in little towns around the country. They're incredible. They're designed for stage performing, and you go on there and you could do anything. But you go into like the James L. Knight Center in Miami that seats 5,000, but it's just a hangar. It's an airplane hangar. It's just a structure to protect you from the rain. They don't have that kind of thinking anymore because that's not the entertainment industry, live performance. So the place isn't designed well. So it's not a matter of size. It's a matter of design in a lot of times.
Do you feel you still get a true reading every time now, or is the fact that you've become so popular and so well known something that gives you a leg up?
I get 5 free minutes now. That's what I get. And then I'm on my own. Nobody can laugh because they liked what they saw you do on TV a week ago. Because laughter is an involuntary response. At first there's an excitement level when the person comes out, you know, and people like to see that. Mm-hmm. But after that, it settles down. That's the great leveler of comedy, and that's one of the reasons I like to do it, is because the audience will slap you down very quickly if you think you're bigger than the bit.
I guess maybe an exception to that, because it created such a frenzy and he was almost in a different category, was Steve Martin in the late 70s. I remember seeing him, forget about in a big concert hall, in an arena setting. I mean, he could play arenas like a rock group could, 20,000. And he would come out, put the arrow on, the place would go nuts, and I remember seeing him in that context, not liking it at all. And soon he quit after that, because basically he could get up and just do anything, and what was forgotten was, even though a lot of his stuff was physical, it was very smart. The stuff he would do on The Tonight Show, the attitudes he would affect, that stuff was very smart and very ironic and sometimes self-mocking, sometimes mocking show business, but then it just got to the point where it was slapstick, and I don't think that was his intention, and he stopped doing it.
Well, I think he was smart enough to know that he was riding a wave that was more cultural than comedic in some cases. A brilliantly funny guy, but what happened to him was definitely a blip on the you know, the culture, whatever, continuum. So that would have just ended the same way we've seen, you know, fill in the name of the comedian over the past few years, kind of come and go very quickly. It's not
based on comedy. It's something in the culture that wants to see that at that moment. They have to see it. They love it. They go crazy, and then they just can't and don't ever want to see it again.
Are there people who are funny in clubs who for some reason can't be funny on television? Now, the obvious reason is if somebody works dirty. That's different. But is there something about TV that some people do or don't translate comedically?
Yeah. See, when you're on TV, you're crossing two airspaces, you know, from the performance to the camera, and then from the screen to the couch. When you're in a club, you just got that one airspace, you know, and you can manipulate, you can, what we call muscle a joke with a certain kind of energy. And you may not really have the joke, but you can push people into laughing. You can actually, it's more crowd control than comedy. But on TV, it's very hard to get away with that. And TV tends to distill you down to what the real essence of what you're saying and how funny you really are. And it picks up little things. Clubs, big things work. On TV, little things work. But to me, the density of the medium that you have to go through, like these two airspaces, really hurts a lot of people that depend on energy, certain type of energy.
What's the worst moment you ever had?
In stand-up?
Yeah, maybe your rhythm was off.
At the Raleigh
you drew a blank.
Hotel. I had a room that was so small, Bob. No.
In Raleigh, North Carolina?
No, in the Catskills. And a guy there saw me in the club in New York, and he thought I was good. I was in comedy 1 year. And booked me to work in the main room. I was 22 years old. I didn't have anything but like G.I. Joe and like 40 minutes on Superman. That was my...
Works for me.
Yeah.
Hey, if I had been there, you would have been over the top.
You were not there. And there was a lot of old people there, and I walked out. I wore a suit that I had bought for $60, a blue corduroy suit with 2 pair of pants. I mean, and I must have looked like a 3-year-old coming out there, and they were looking at me, and I really went down the tubes. And the agent, I mean, nothing. And it was a big room. I was terrified to begin with. I had never played in, you know, the clubs I had always been on in front of 20 people, 50 people. I hadn't even been playing on the weekends. So this was a big room, like 1,000 people, and I went out there, and I was terrified, and I died terribly, and the guy said to me, "You may be in for a very rough career." And I believed it.
So and something supportive to pick you up in your moment of need.
Right. And I was sitting there in the dressing room, and I was so upset, and I just, you know, you don't know what you're doing at that stage. The thing that makes comedy easy as you continue is you know why you're not doing well. When you don't know why, it's very scary, you know. When you know why, it's not so scary. But anyway, he told me, "You may be in for a very rough career," and I couldn't even stay in the hotel. I had to get out of there. And I drove home in the middle of the night. It was like a 3-hour drive, and I was on the edge then. And I talked to George Schultz, who ran a club in Brooklyn called Pips. And he was a famous comedy maven through the 50s. He discovered Brenner and Rodney and Klein and all these guys, and really helped a lot of comedians. And I called him up and told him what happened. And he said, "If you do well up there, you have no act. If those people like you, you'll never make it." Because it was such a specific group, you know. And, but that was one of the lowest moments I had.
Hey, should we say something to him?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he loves to hear from fans in the locker room.
Why, he could say hello to me. I wouldn't mind.
He's Keith Hernandez. You're Jerry Seinfeld.
What would you say about the show at this point in its much acclaimed history?
You would probably be able to answer that better than me. Do you watch the show?
I watch it almost every week.
Really? It seems to me now it's like, in baseball terms, I would say it's like in a 3rd or 4th season, which is what it's in, where it's really getting strong now. I mean, we really know the game, and we kind of walk onto the stage with a certain confidence. We expect to win. I mean, we figure anything we do is probably going to be good.
Speaking of baseball, I was on a plane to St. Louis around Christmas time with Keith Hernandez. Oh. And we were talking about the episode that he did. Yeah. It was an hour-long one.
One of my favorites, in fact.
He was telling me it didn't really show that much. I mean, I think he gave as good a performance as you could expect from a novice actor. But he told me he was really nervous.
He was a wreck. He was like you or I would be standing at the plate in the 7th game of the World Series. Just you could see the fear in the eyes. He was really.
The guy was in Game 6, 2 runs down, 2 outs, facing elimination.
Excuse me. I don't want to disturb you. I'm Keith Hernandez, and I just want to tell you what a big fan I am. I love your comedy.
Joe is right, I think, at a really good point right now. I mean, I feel like we've proven ourselves, you know. We're not worried about, is this going to make it, you know, is the show really good, or are we just going to be able to acquit ourselves for a while and then dissolve?
Yeah.
But I think now we know that we've kind of mastered the form, I guess, I think, and now we're, you know, doing it.
Now, has this increased celebrity changed some of the things you can take a pot shot at on stage? I mean, after all, you've been the subject of the Barbara Walters interview.
Yes, I have.
Put you in a different category now.
Really? Where am I?
I'm not exactly sure, but
Tell me another celebrity who's as big as I am now, so I can get an idea of what people think when they see me.
Another celebrity who's as big
Who's like me?
Right now?
Yeah, right now. If you see me and so-and-so, and you wouldn't know which one to go to, because we're both at the exact same level.
I don't know, Richard Dawson?
Richard Dawson?
I just took a stab.
Ray Combs, I can see.
Ray Combs. I don't know.
Where am I don't know where I am in the business, I swear to God.
Well, you were on the same show, as I recall it, as Frank and Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't Clint Eastwood on that same show? And I'm missing one other person.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
A forgettable American actor in Bob's mind.
And you.
And me.
And basically...
Well, that was a fluke. That was a fluke.
It seemed to me like your attitude was, I should probably say yes and do this because she was nice enough to ask.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing to be on this program, but let me see if I can get through it without saying anything that commits me to anything.
Yeah. Which is not unlike most of my conversation, really. But yeah, I was on that show thinking, I don't belong here. I should be on with Bob with a 1-3 rating. That's my wheelhouse.
You know, you don't want a 24 or 25.
No. But you didn't answer my question. I'm serious. Ed, tell me. You know the business. You're out there.
Yeah. It's my life. I study it.
Am I as big as you? I'm bigger than you now.
Oh, you're bigger than me. You're way bigger than me.
You used to be bigger than me.
You know, there was a time, and I can actually pinpoint this.
There was a time when this was a break.
That's right. And now it's a mitzvah.
I'm giving you a break.
Now it's a mitzvah.
Now it's a mitzvah.
I would say I was bigger than you in 1984, 85.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm hosting the Super Bowl and you're just getting a shot on Letterman. Right? So
right.
I would say for about a month in 1985, I was bigger than you.
I remember when I met you at Letterman's party that time. I was really excited. It's so funny to think back on that.
It's kind of poignant, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember telling people I met Bob Costas. Imagine.
If you watch this show regularly, you realize there was no reason to sit through this last commercial because we just come back for 10 seconds and say, see you later.
Gotcha.
Five years of great moments in comedy with the funniest men and women. 5 years of great moments in music with the best musicians. 5 years of great moments in acting with the finest actors. And 5 years of just plain great moments with Bob Costas.
That's it. Don't change it. Don't do a thing.
5 years later, a prime time...